Hi, this is Mani from bsc2nse.com. So in this video, I'm going to talk about investor related topic. Now something, a discussion that kind of happened in a WhatsApp group of ours. And this is a question that somebody asked that, the Rakesh JhunJhunWala portfolio has lot many stocks like 30, 40, and not all of them look great. So, what is he doing right? What's his trick, what's his key, what's his methodology to being successful as an investor. And I think most people would know about Rakesh JhunJhunWala, people who've been in the stock market. He was an extremely aggressive trader who achieved jackpot returns back in 1990s or just before that, 1980s to 1990. And then he turned more of an investor after the year 2000. So he's been a successful investor for the last 20 years, at least, starting from Titan, Crystal, Lupin, VIP Industries. Of course, I think from what I've observed, he might have actually invested in at least 100 companies. Out of 100 companies that he has invested, only 5 or 6 of them, like Titan, VIP, Crystal, Lupin, only 4 or 5 have become a major jackpot investments for him, wherein these companies have gone up like 50 times to 100 times or more returns for him in his portfolio. Today, if you look at, I think you can Google and find in many websites updated info on what's his current portfolio. You can also go through after watching this video. He probably has currently a portfolio of around 20,000 crores. I think with market drop, maybe it might have dropped to 15,000 crores or a little lesser. So even at this kind of a size, this is the key. This is the key to the answer. Even at this kind of size of his portfolio, he still doesn't buy more than 100 crores in any company. Meaning, let's say during Corona, he thinks that out of all the market, there's one pharma company or there's one company which is probably going to come out superbly. He will still not invest more than 100 crores. So that's very, very small. That's actually 0.5%. It's equivalent to, let's say, if you have a lakh, if you are handling a portfolio of a lakh, you will invest only 500 rupees in that company, in a company that you really believe is extremely strong in that year. And if you go through news available publicly, in a year he'll not invest more than 3 or 4 companies, which means all 3 or 4 companies put together, he would have not invested more than 400 crores or 300 crores or 200 crores. Basically, he's just been reinvesting whatever he's been getting as dividends from these companies. Meaning, at 20,000 crore portfolio, he still goes for jackpot companies, which can be penny cap size, where he can, get to know about the management, the company, what they're doing, get a closer look, go and visit their factories and all that. He has a team to do the groundwork research. After doing all the groundwork research, something that none of us will be able to do, for his brand value and name in the industry, he can have a team of people go and check, talk to the CEO of the company. What are you doing? What are you expecting to do? How far can you? What do you think is the possibility that you can achieve a 10x in the next 5 years? He can have various discussions, personal discussions with the CEO, management of the company. He can go and visit their manufacturing facilities, whatever they are doing. Even after doing all those background checks and everything, he still reinvests only 200. He probably still invests only 200 crores every year. He doesn't just go ahead and take a loan and buy into shares and all. So whatever he gets as dividend only, he's just reinvesting back. So he's just hardly investing 1% freshly into the market, into some stock which he thinks will go extremely good in the next 20 years. He has an extremely long horizon. I'm sure he must be thinking that way. Now, so that is one thing. He buys extremely slowly and he takes a lot of time to, there's so many stocks to buy, right? But then he just doesn't go every day shopping and buying. So number 3 is, once he enters a company, okay, whatever company, I'm going to give an example of S Bank below, whatever company. So after doing all this meticulous research, he pushes in only 100 crores, which is 0.5% or 500 rupees for every 1 lakh rupee of portfolio. After this, after researching a lot and filtering, and he chooses to invest in only 2 or 3 companies every year. If it continues to drop, if the share price continues to drop, he never further goes and averages it, meaning buy again, so let me get my price, average price lower, which is a very common thing I hear from everyone, and something that I have also done. I mean, I've been investing from 2006-7, and I would have done this a lot. So I can understand everybody else also doing. I'm just not saying that it's stupid, but it's something that you shouldn't ideally do, right? But everybody in the market does that. Everybody I speak to, every investor I generally go and have a discussion with, they just pop this question. I invested at 100, it has now come down to 50. What is a good price to average, right? So this is something he never does, right? He never, once he chooses a company and he puts that 100 crores or a very small amount for his size, he never looks back. He never bothers to accumulate further also, no matter what, right? He recently bought S Bank at 67. This was almost a year back or 6 to 10 months back, much before it further crashed. And before the founder made an exit, Rana Kapoor made an exit. There were so many news about Paytm coming in, somebody else coming in, somebody else coming in. Eventually, it went bust, and then government announced Yes Bank to take over, and the price dropped to as low as 6 rupees, meaning he bought 100 crores at 67 rupees, which means his invested value has dropped to just 10 crores when it dropped to 10 rupees. Two things he didn't do. He didn't panic. He didn't exit like many of us would have exited. We would have just gone and bought it at 40 rupees, even a better price than JhunJhunWala. And many people would have panicked and exited when it dropped to 20. And they booked loss, and then they are built with guilt because they went with all their hard-earned money and too much of money and too much exposure into one stock. So even after SBI has taken over, I mean, there's so much of positivity now that he should have eventually averaged at 20 rupees, ideally. And for him, another 100 crores is very easy. It's just a phone call, he can get a loan. He can just shift, exit some other stock and re-enter. But it's just been 6 months. So I'm sure he's just waiting to see further development. Okay, SBI has come and let me review it after 6 months. The price is not going anywhere. It's still below my price. I can wait. So he's not rushing in to go and get a good price. And this is another thing I typically get from everyone. So once they've decided to buy a stock, they keep asking, like, like, is this a good price? Is today a good price? Is tomorrow a good price? When will that good price come? So there's so much of anxiety in all of us, even with me. Even I have learnings to take from this. So there's no need to rush in. Markets will always have opportunities, very similar to the poker game. In poker game, every roll keeps coming back at you again and again and again and again. So you will get a better opportunity at some point of time. This is something that my college mate keeps telling me. Somebody who I consider as my mentor, he keeps telling me opportunities will always keep coming to you, money. You don't need to rush, or you don't need to overexpose yourself to something right now. Just because you're bullish on it, just because it could be right, it doesn't mean you just need to keep getting excited and keep pushing too much into it. Just because you have money, just because you can pull out money, you cannot just keep going at it every time. I just had this discussion with him couple of days back when I was planning to invest in a startup. So he said, go ahead and invest, but why do you want to invest 20 rupees instead of 10 rupees? 10 rupees is fine and a decent exposure right now, but why do you want to do 20? You could be right, you could be, I mean, you could be 100% right, but you still have to manage risk and the percentage allocation that you are taking into a particular risk and a bet. So this is something that's extremely important. The next point, he does not get his ego come in the way, right? And he has more patience and he doesn't give in to temptation. There's so much of temptation for him to enter into S Bank. In the last 1 year, I think he would have just bought, last few years, he's bought SpiceJet, which is still down because of Corona and aviation drop and everything. SpiceJet also, he hasn't, I don't think he has further averaged. Yes Bank, he hasn't further averaged. Forget SpiceJet, at least SpiceJet can suffer for another 1-2 years. But Yes Bank, there's so much of positivity. As soon as lockdown is over, there's a good chance that banking stocks may come back up. But he's just sitting in cool there and not doing anything. He just pushed 10 to 100 crores and he's not even thinking about it. He doesn't really care, right? He's just enjoying himself right now. And that's how you should also be. Once you take a particular exposure, just because the price has come down, you don't need to panic. Stick to the plan. Give the company time, because the company needs time before they can actually recover. Even if they want to recover, even if there are at 20,000 employees who are putting their heart and soul into trying to make the company recover, right? So everything takes time. So understanding that is very critical as a long-term investor. And if you want to personally work on getting more patience and understanding that opportunity will always come to you, I would seriously advise you to play online poker and probably just take a 100 rupee bet. You have tables where you can place bet at just 1 rupees and 2 rupees for every roll. Every day you don't lose more than 50 rupees. Keep playing poker. Why I'm saying you should put that minimum 50 rupees is because, or just put 20 rupees every day. 20 rupees is where online poker you can play minimally. And you have ADA 52. Let me put that in here. ADA52.com. So this is online poker game built by Delta Corp. Delta Corp is the casino, Delton Casino in Goa. So there is a table called Pune Pockets or something, where you can place a minimum bet at 1 rupee or 2 rupees. You can just play and knock yourself out with just a minimum budget of, go and say that if I'm going in with 20 rupees, if I lose that 20 rupees, I'm done for the day. And play whenever you get time. It's hardly going to take 5 to 10 minutes, and 20 rupees are cost every day. But the skill you will develop if you allow, if you self-introspect what is your emotions when you're placing the bet and when you're playing poker, is that it will develop patience in you, and you will also understand that an opportunity keeps coming back at you. So even during this lockdown, I'm prepared to do a webinar just to show a demo of how ADA 52 works, and just to show a demo of me playing poker and doing a running commentary on it. This is relatively easy to do, and I will just take questions on chat. I'm planning to do this webinar probably in the next 2 weeks. If you guys are interested, just comment in the video, and for sure I'm going to do it for clients who have already opened a Zerodha account through us, because I want them to be successful. So I want to pass on something that I learned to people who actually look up to me. So that is something I'm planning to do. And if I just want you guys to try it, so don't mistake it as like, why is money asking people to gamble in poker? So if you don't want to do it, if you're totally against it, I don't want to push you guys, but this is something that I've just been playing for a week, and I can tell you the way I think has changed drastically. And if you can self-introspect into your own thoughts, I'm sure you can enhance the way you think by at least 10 times. And I really hope this video has been helpful. Subscribe, stay in touch, and stay safe. I'm pretty sure that the lockdown will not go beyond 3 months. People will begin to accept that these are tough times, and eventually there'll be a point where the economy will open up, not just here, everywhere across the globe. It'll open up no matter what. Even if Corona continues to say, I believe that economies will open up eventually. When every individual gets hit on his payroll, eventually we will begin to accept that it's the individual's risk to go out there and still go and work in a job. And you can choose to do that as you wish. So that will be a general mindset that will eventually come up within 3 months time. Thank you for watching this video. That's it. Bye bye.